Your 4th of July plans are at risk as strong to severe thunderstorms packing damaging winds over 60 miles per hour and excessive lightning batter the area. Here's all you need to know. Welcome to WBWC. Right now we have extreme heat warnings in effect for today and tomorrow, as well as an extreme heat watch for your 4th of July. It's going to be important to stay cool during this excessive heat, but it should be calming down by Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Now we're looking at the RRFSA model for our heat indexes or feel like temperatures. Right now it likely feels well over 100 degrees for many of you right now, especially Baltimore, Rockville, Chesapeake Beach, Frederick, Westminster's getting up there. Not quite 100 yet, but as we move forward to around 1 p.m., Baltimore could feel like 105, Elkton 102, Frederick 100, Westminster 100. Very high temperatures. This is going to be the hottest day out of our entire week here, possibly the entire year. So you approach 2 to 3 p.m. Things are actually starting to cool off a little bit in Baltimore. You're no longer at 105 like you were before. That kind of wave of heat starting to move off to the east. Rockville is approaching 103. DC's also approaching 103 degrees. Ellsberg 99.5. Frederick over 100. The majority of Frederick County is over 100 degrees here. Carroll County is looking around the 97 to 100 degree range, especially near Taneytown and Eldersburg. Baltimore, especially the more south and east you get in Baltimore County, the hotter it gets here. Harford County near Bel Air, you guys are feeling a widespread over 101 degrees. Although closer to the north, you're kind of closer to that 100 degree mark. Still extremely hot. Further south near Pasadena, we're feeling 105 degrees here. Same with Rockville. Feeling 105 degrees here near Pasadena. Places near Dayton and Fulton and Howard County, I'm feeling 100 to 101 degrees, especially near Cooksville. Let's move it forward. This is about 5 p.m. here. Things are really starting to cool off now. No longer super widespread 100 degrees. Carroll County should be completely under 100 degrees at this point. Around Frederick, we're feeling still around 100. Baltimore, we're feeling around 100, 102. Pasadena, same thing with you, around 102. DC, feeling around 100 degrees here, 102 degrees. To move to the overnight hours, it should get much better. It's still going to be in the 90s by 10 p.m. though, and by midnight it's going to be in the high 80s. Further south you get though, you're still well in the 90s here in Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Annapolis. And then we get to tomorrow, this is Friday, where it's going to warm back up again. This could be another huge day of excessive heat. We're looking around the same levels as today. In fact, possibly in some localized areas even warmer than today. Baltimore 106, Pasadena 105 again. Looking at 103, 104 near DC. Carroll County is going to be much hotter than it is today. We're looking at over 100 degrees here. Widespread. All of Carroll County is going to be over 100 degrees for their apparent temperatures or feel like temperatures. Frederick, most of Frederick County is going to be over 100 degrees unless you're in this far northwestern portion right up here. Further south, we're feeling 106 degrees, 106.4. Gotta be very, very warm. This is 1 p.m. And Pasadena, 107 degrees. Gaithersburg, 104. This is at 3 p.m. It's like our coolest counties are gonna be Carroll and Howard counties here. Still well over 100 degrees here. Even, Taneytown, we're seeing 102 degrees. Hampstead, 101 degrees. And then that's gonna start to cool off in the overnight hours. Now you might see this yellow-orange color coming in here. This right here is our cold front, one of many that will be moving through. This will be packed with some storms to our north here. If you look, very cool temperatures actually right here, 50 degrees. And I'll show you why that is. At the same time this is happening, strong, severe thunderstorms will be moving through this area. Around this time is when that cold front will be pushing south into Maryland in our coverage area here. To the north, we could have some isolated severe thunderstorms moving through the area. And this is a perfect segue into tomorrow's severe weather threat. Today, we are not anticipating any severe weather at all. We are not even in a thunderstorm risk. That all changes when we are under a 3 out of 6 slight risk of severe weather issued by the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. This will stretch all the way from northern Frederick County through Westminster, Owings Mills, Towson, Baltimore, through Bel Air, and even further to the east and north. This is driven by a 15% wind risk in our area due to these storms I showed you earlier. That's just one model showing the storms though, and I will show you a couple more. Now this is another model called the HRRR. Now this model tends to do something called over-mixing. In the summer, this phenomena leads to the feel-like temperatures being underdone by the models, which is why we showed the RRFSA today instead of the HRRR. And as we move this forward, this is 7 p.m. We have a cluster of thunderstorms here in Pennsylvania. Not much down here though. But there is a small chance for thunderstorms. If something like this down here can really develop, it can produce a strong severe thunderstorm as it moves east-southeast. Now here's another model called the NAM Nest. This model isn't showing a lot of severe weather for us either, but if we look to the north, it does show a large line of strong severe thunderstorms moving southeast through upstate New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Now that's not our only risk of severe weather coming up. On the 4th of July, we are completely covered. Our entire coverage area is covered by a 3 out of 6 slight risk of severe weather. And this is for, again, a 15% risk of damaging winds. So this is our entire coverage area. This is a 15% chance across our entire coverage area that you could get excessive lightning, heavy downpours, and damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour that could ruin your 4th of July. This is 3 p.m. here, and we have strong storm right here near Leesburg. This will be moving east and could grow into a quite large storm. This exact thing is not guaranteed to happen, but this would be at 4 p.m. This is just a suggestion. This isn't guaranteed to happen. It's at 4 p.m. and at 5 p.m. we have many more storms going up all across here surrounding DC, moving east. So as this moves east, we have plenty of storms covering our entire coverage area, all the way from Frederick, Carroll, Baltimore County, south, even out of our coverage area in La Plata and Virginia. And these all will move eastward. If you want to launch fireworks at 6 p.m., this is 6 p.m., wouldn't recommend it. 5 p.m., wouldn't recommend it. 4 p.m., wouldn't recommend it, especially if you're in Germantown or Gaithersburg. As long as it's not raining, there's no lightning or thunder for 30 minutes, your best chance to launch fireworks will be from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Because after that, you could have more rain coming through overnight into July 5th, where we again have a 3 out of 6 slight risk of severe weather across most of our coverage area. Now here's what the radar could look like around 2 p.m. This is a lower resolution model. As we move into 5 p.m., some storm forming off to our west here that could develop into either a line of thunderstorms, which looks likely here, a line of thunderstorms from York, Pennsylvania, down towards Charlottesville, Virginia, that would move eastward. So I would expect this to move. This is around 8 p.m. here. So this line could move through Baltimore around 8:39 p.m. and probably leave our coverage area by 9:30 to 10 p.m. here. The main time frame is probably 6 to 10 p.m. for severe weather on the 5th of July here. Now that we have looked at all of the models here, I want to take a look at the Stormnet tool that I showed you guys yesterday. So this is the 4th of July here, is showing a 70 to 80% chance of damaging winds across our region from Towson, Bel Air, Baltimore, through Rockville, DC, Gaithersburg, Germantown, Westminster, Eldersburg, Mount Airy. We are seeing a 70 to 80% chance of damaging winds. If we move forward, here is July 5th. Now we don't have any CAMs or convective allowing models, which is your HRRR, your RRFSA models for this day yet, which is, I think, why the risk is lower than for the 4th, because in my opinion, the 5th looks a bit more significant than the 4th. But again, we have a 70 to 80% chance of damaging winds on the 4th, and around a 60 to 70% chance of damaging winds on the 5th across all of our coverage area. The reason you see lower probabilities here is because it's around the water, and this tool's a little weird when it comes to water boundaries. So 2 days in a row of potentially significant damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, 65 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour, and possibly isolated gusts of 80 miles per hour, which is destructive. With that being said, stay safe, stay hydrated, keep your pets inside if you can for the next 2 days, as it's going to be very, very hot. And I have a 10% chance of going live tomorrow. I have a 0% chance of going live on the 4th of July. I'll be busy. On the 4th of July, I'll try to get a video update out, but if I can't, I'll do a YouTube post and a Twitter post. And the 5th of July, I have a 60% chance of going live. So stay tuned with more updates. Thank you for tuning in to WBWC.